Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I hope that you guys have been enjoying the content, that you guys have been learning from it, growing from it. That's my ardent desire with all of these videos I'm putting out there. In this one, I want to speak to you guys about how INFJs have a really hard time being late to any event. In fact, I think most of the time, I would say 100% of the time, I'm always early to an event. Almost always early to an event, at least by 15 minutes, if not more. And one of the reasons for that, obviously, is we have this thing about not wasting time, but also not wasting other people's time. We don't want to be late and have someone waiting for us, have someone being irritated by us or angry at us or upset because we're late. And also, we don't want to waste their time. If they're waiting for us while we're dilly-dallying about, just doing our thing and getting late to events, then it's our fault because we're wasting their precious time as well. And as we don't like waste, we don't want to do that. But more importantly, I've done a video on this previously, but that we like to do recon missions. So every single time we get to a place which is new to us, we always like to go in and do a little bit of reconnaissance. We just want to go in and check where all the exits are. We want to check where the bathroom is. We want to make sure that it's a safe space. We want to make sure that there's not too much noise, that they're not blasting the music, that someone's not crying in the bathroom, or someone's not fighting in the living room or wherever it might be. We just want to make sure that's a safe space for us to go in energetically, physically, mentally, spiritually. And so we go in half an hour early, 15 minutes early, whatever it might be, whatever your time frame is. You go in and you check it out. You make sure everything is fine, and then you're able to relax and you're able to have the conversation or the meeting with the individual without feeling stressed out about it. I notice for myself, if I'm ever late to an event, by late I mean that I don't have enough time to do a proper recon, I feel really anxious being in that situation or being in that space. I have no idea where the washroom is. I don't know where all the exits are. I don't know what the space is really like because I just jumped into it and right into it and I just started having a conversation with the person. And so I really don't like being on time to events because I really like the possibility of going in and doing recon on the event and on the space and on the person as well. It's really interesting to me going into an event or going into a space and then watching the people I'm going to be hanging out with for a few minutes. Not like a stalker or anything, hopefully, but just making sure that the people that I'm going to be hanging out with, especially if they're new to me, if I'm going to a new meetup or if I'm going to a new group, that session that I've never been to, perhaps it's a new yoga place or it's a new creative writing group or whatever it might be. If I'm going into a new space and with a new group of people, I really like the chance to go in, sit in a corner, drink my drink or whatever it might be, and watch those people for a few seconds just to see what they're really like. Are they the kind of people I'd want to hang out with? Can I slip out before, if I realize that they're not really the kind of people I want to hang out with for the next few hours, then can I slip out early? Can I go and say, can I make an excuse? Or can I just pretend like I never showed up? And so I really like the possibility of going in and doing that kind of recon mission in any situation that I'm going into. It might be a new school. When I go into any new school, for example, recently I started taking voice lessons. Not only because I want to become a stronger singer, but also because I like the possibility of growing my voice for these videos that I'm doing. I think a lot of my videos are based on intuition, and so I want to build my intuition by building my voice, which is really interconnected, especially if you believe in chakras and stuff. And so I did these voice lessons with a new school. I've never been to the school before. I didn't hear anything about it from anyone because it's something that no one really does that often from the group of people that I know. So I had to go into this school pretty fresh, right? And so one of the things obviously that I did was I walked around the school. So I went in early before I was supposed to meet the individual who runs the school. I went in early. I walked around the school to see what's around the school, if there are any restaurants nearby that I could eat at if I was waiting around for a class, if I was early, or a coffee shop, if there's a massage place, maybe if I could do a massage beforehand or after, what's around it. So I did a little bit of walking around to see what's around. And then obviously I went in and then I did a little bit of walking around inside. So I went to the washroom to see what the state of the washroom is. Is it clean? Is it dirty? Is it in a space where I'd be comfortable peeing? Is it in a space where it's really close to people? And then I walked around and I just sat there for a little bit because I was early for the meeting. And the person's like, yeah, you just have a seat and he'll be here soon. And so I sat down and I just watched. I watched the people coming in. What kind of people were they? What kind of students were coming in? Most of them were really young kids, which is understandable because it's a music school. So they had guitars and like violins and flutes and all that stuff, and they were coming in adorably cute, coming in and doing all these lessons. I just loved it. I just loved the idea because I never got to do these kind of lessons when I was younger. My parents were too poor for that, and we lived in a really random place as well, really far away from civilization. So it wasn't possible for me, but I liked looking at all these young kids, getting into music and learning how to play an instrument. So just kind of doing that recon mission, just relaxing into the space and understanding what it's all about, really helped me relax into having that conversation with the owner. And as soon as I had the conversation with the owner was really nice, really exuberant, had really good energy. As soon as I had the conversation, I was good. I knew that this was the place for me. I'd be comfortable coming in here once a week, doing my lesson. I didn't feel uncomfortable with the space or the vibe or the energy. I felt good about coming in, and I knew I could do it as a long-term thing. And so I signed up for the lesson. And this is pretty much how it goes for us every single time we do anything new. Mostly we're trying to push ourselves out of our comfort zone, but we do it in a very safe way, right? And so if I'm going to a new event, I don't mind going to new events and meeting new people, but I'm going to do it in a manner that feels safe to me, that feels secure to me. So again, as I said, I'm not going to be late to the event, but I'm going to go in early and I'm going to go do a little bit of recon. I'm going to watch the people I'm going to hang out with. I'm going to watch the space. I'm going to feel the space. I'm going to feel the energy. And that's when I'm going to realize, okay, is this for me or not, right? Now, as I've said before, I try not to judge the book by the cover. So I'm really trying nowadays to not judge anything, even though I've done recon and I feel uncomfortable. I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't really know. Maybe things might change. Maybe the person might be different. Maybe the space might be different once I get into it. So a lot of times nowadays, instead of running away, which is what I would do in the past, I would just run away right away. So if I felt uncomfortable, I wouldn't even stay for a few seconds. I wouldn't even try it. I would just run away and I'd say, I'm sorry, I'm not interested, or I'm sorry, I don't have time for this, or whatever it might be. I would make up an excuse. But nowadays, I'm trying, if I go in and I feel uncomfortable, I'm really still trying to spend a little bit of time at the event. So recently I went to a workshop, and it was a good workshop, really interesting. I learned a lot from it, but the energy was a little bit off. I don't know how to explain it. I just felt it. And I was like, should I go? They had these weekly workshops, and I was like, should I go back again? And I didn't go back. And I felt good about that decision. So even though, I tried it once and it was iffy, it wasn't that bad, it was all right. I learned a few things. It still felt irky, it felt icky. So I said, no, I'm not going to do it anymore. Even though I was early to the event and I did the recon, I got the drink and I sat around and I watched the space. The space was good, the energy was all right. But there was something off about the event itself, and I did the event completely, even though I felt that, discomfort. I still went in and I did the whole event, and then I decided, all right, I don't think this event is for me. And that's the case with all of these things that we go to. Not everything is going to be for you. Not every event is going to be awesome. Not every event is going to jive with your energy, and that's fine. That's the reason we do these recon missions. That's the reason we get to events early. It's not because of course, as I said, we don't want to waste anyone else's time, and we don't want to waste our own time either. But we go to events for this specific reason. We go early to events for this specific reason, because we want to know what we're getting ourselves into. Is it a safe thing for us to go into? Is it a safe event? Is this person safe? Is it going to suck our energy out and leave us dry, or is it going to give us energy and boost us up? Right? So we're always trying to learn things like this about the event or about the person by doing that recon mission, by getting to events early. Now, people always ask me, I'm always at events early. I'm usually half an hour early. That's usually the timeline that I like, because I like getting in, I like sitting down, I like reading a little bit of manga while I'm waiting around, I like having a a drink while I'm waiting around, like a coffee or a matcha tea. I just kind of like the whole just relaxing into the space idea before that person comes in, and then I have to get into that extroverted mode where I have to kind of like, you know, switch off. You know, I have to switch off my introverted mode and become extroverted and start chatting and being exuberant and, you know, just being around people in general. So I like that little space of time where I can be myself in that space. But people always ask me, you know, are you uncomfortable or upset by the fact that I am late? And so if other people are late, for some reason it doesn't bother me at all. I don't care about it. I know that I always carry something with me, that if I'm waiting for someone, I always have something to do. So I'll have my mangas with me, or, you know, I'll have a book to read, I'll have my notebook to write in. I always carry something. Also, there's always opportunity for people watching. So even if I'm waiting for someone, I'm just sitting around people watching anyways, always gathering data. And so I really have no problem with other people being late. And interestingly enough, I guess I attract people who are always late. So I'll get to an event early, in half an hour early, and then usually my friends or family or whoever might be show up 10-15 minutes late, which is fine. So that means I've been waiting for 45 minutes. Absolutely all right with me, because as I said, I always carry stuff with me so that I'm never not doing anything. And even if I'm just sitting and people watching, I feel that that's a good use of my time. I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. I don't feel like I'm wasting anyone else's time because I'm early. And so it feels good to me. So I don't really mind it. I don't get angry at people if they're late. And if there are people in my life who are consistently late, then I'll kind of account for that. So if I know this person's always going to be 10-15 minutes late, and there are people like that in my life, then I'll just kind of get to an event 15 minutes early instead of getting there half an hour early, because I know I'm going to be 15 minutes into the event waiting for the person anyways, right? So I'll kind of adjust my schedule around a little bit around for that person. And I don't judge them for it. I mean, like, we're a little bit insane for getting to events early. It doesn't mean that everyone on this planet should be like that. And if the person has a hard time getting to events early because they, you know, overpack their schedule, or if they have so much to do, or if they get distracted, well, then that's not my problem, really. Like, I mean, I don't mind it. I don't get angry at another person for that. That's their situation. That's who they are. A lot of people are just late to every event that they go to, and that's just normal for them, right? For some reason, they get distracted. I have a particular friend like that, and I love her to death, but she is always late because she gets distracted, and she has so many people contacting her, and she's such an exuberant, she's an introvert, but she has such exuberance in her that she comes across as an extrovert and has a lot of friends. And so, you know, she gets distracted, she's messaging people, she's talking to people, people meet her on the street and stop her, you know, she's always late. And there's always reasons for it, good reasons for it. And so I never take it to heart. I always know that she's going to be late, and so I'll kind of adjust, as I said, to that possibility, to that extreme possibility. All right, I hope this makes sense to you guys. I wonder what you guys think about being late or early to events. Are you always late? Are you always early? I'm pretty sure if you're an INFJ that you must always be exactly on time, or if not exactly on time, early for sure. Again, I'd love to hear from you guys. If you guys have any questions at all about this video or any other videos that I've done, please message me anytime. All my contact information is in the description below, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.